Good morning, everyone. Let's start with new chapter that is pharmacoeconomics. Again, this is a new concept in the clinical pharmacy. So it is actually emerging area of the clinical pharmacy that deals with the cost and benefits that are associated with the drug therapy. So let's see what are the contents of my presentation. So first thing that we are going to see is the introduction to the pharmacoeconomics. Next one is the history. The next components of pharmacoeconomics. The need of pharmacoeconomics. Then what do we mean by cost? Then what are outcomes? What are different perspectives? Then this part is very important, that is methodologies of the pharmacoeconomics, which consist of first is cost minimization analysis, second one is cost effectiveness analysis, third one is the cost utility analysis, and the fourth one is the cost benefit analysis. So we are going to see what are the applications of the pharmacoeconomics. Then we are going to see the Indian scenario regarding the pharmacoeconomics, then challenges that may be faced while carrying out pharmacoeconomic studies, and the conclusion. Okay, so let's start with a few definitions. At first definition is of economics. So economics is the study of allocation of limited resources or scarce resources or inputs among alternative uses to satisfy unlimited wants for outputs. Okay, so basic difference or basic thing you need to remember about economics is that our wants are unlimited, but even though wants are unlimited, the resources which we have, they are of limited type. Okay, so whenever we have resources which are limited and wants unlimited, we have to think upon the alternative means of resources. Okay, example can be taken of the petroleum products. The petroleum products, 80% of it we import from some other countries. Okay, well, as we don't produce it in enough quantities in our country, we have to import 80% of it. So when we are spending so much of money on import of these petroleum products, we have to also think about what are the alternatives to the petroleum products. So here we are, our wants are unlimited over here. You can see we want to drive a vehicle, we want to own multiples of car, we want to own multiples of bikes, but what about the petroleum products? Their price is ever increasing. So now as its price is increasing, it is affecting our daily expenses. Okay, so we have to find out alternatives which are cost effective as well as they are efficient. That means efficient mode of transport we want. So we are now shifting to the electric vehicles. Okay, so in future we may also get the vehicles which are powered by the sunlight. Okay, by some alternate source of fuel like a hydrogen. Okay, so we have to think upon the alternatives in order to satisfy our unlimited wants. So thus the three major elements of any economic analysis for the purpose of rational decision making by individuals and societies are: the first one is identification and choice among alternatives, then second is assessment of cost and consequences, and the third one is the decision making within limited or fixed budgets. Okay, so these are the three major elements of economics analysis, that we have to identify uh, the alternatives. Also we have to make some choice among the alternatives which are available. Okay, then second, the element is assessment of cost and consequences. So we, when we are choosing among the alternatives, we have to also think about the cost which are associated with the selection of alternatives. Okay, if you see in the example of the motor vehicles only, that whatever cars they run on the petroleum product, they are still in our budget. That is, from 2 lakhs or something like that we can get a car. Okay, 2.5 lakh, 3 lakhs we can get a car. But if you want to buy a car which runs on uh, batteries, lithium ion batteries, we have to spend at least 9 lakh or 10 lakh rupees. So spending 9 to 10 lakh rupees, it is not everyone's cup of tea. So we have to also assess the cost in this regard. Okay, now, as also we have to think about the cost which are associated with its maintenance. Okay, so also the consequences, if we choose the alternative, then what are the consequences we have to face, that also we have to look upon. And the third major element of economic analysis is decision making within limited budgets. Okay, so we, although our wants are unlimited, but the money which we have, it is not unlimited. Okay, so we have a limited budget, and in that particular budget we have to satisfy our wants. Okay, so there is a difference between need, wants and desires. Okay, so need is what you need, what you require, and you have the financial capability to serve that particular need. Want is the one that you want those things, and you have the financial capability to serve or complete those particular wants. And desire is the one which you want, or which you desire to have it with you, but you don't have the financial capability to actually purchase that particular thing. So that is the desire. Okay, so we have to decide upon the alternatives with the limited budget which we have. That means we must have the financial capability to cater our needs, to cater our wants. Okay, so if we don't have the financial capability, then the want becomes desire. Okay, so next definition is of health economics. It is the field of study that evaluates the behavior of individuals, firms and markets in healthcare, and that usually focuses on the cost, that is the inputs, and the consequences, that are the outcomes of healthcare interventions, such as use of drugs, devices, procedures, services and programs. Okay, so what it is, it is field of study which evaluates behavior of individuals, firms and markets. Okay, so to what they are related to, they are related to healthcare. Okay, and also what it focuses upon, the cost which are incurred to buy that healthcare, and the consequences, that is the outcomes of it. If you are paying some money to purchase some kind of medications, then you are expecting some outcome out of it. Okay, that means it should provide you some therapeutic benefit. Okay, so that consequence you have to also look upon whenever you are dealing with the health economics. Okay, so next is pharmacoeconomics. It is the field of study that evaluates the behavior of individuals, firms and markets relevant to the use of pharmaceutical products, services and programs, and which frequently focuses on the cost and consequences of that use. Okay, so if you see the definition of the health economics and the pharmacoeconomics, it is almost the same. The first part is same, that is up till the markets, but we are now concerned in case of pharmacoeconomics is use of pharmaceutical products. Okay, so we are the health economics is somewhat broader term, and pharmacoeconomics it only deals with the use of pharmaceutical products. Okay, so the use of what cost is of the use of pharmaceutical products, services and programs, and what are the outcomes we obtain from it, that the pharmacoeconomics deals with. Okay, so in a way, health economics is a very broad term, and the pharmacoeconomics is the subset of it. Okay, I hope that you understand what I mean by subset. Okay, so the pharmacoeconomics is a subfield or subset of health economics. So operationally, the field of pharmacoeconomics it consists of comparing outcomes, that is clinical, economic or humanistic, and the cost, that is resource consumption of pharmaceutical products, programs and or services to the next best alternative from selected perspective. Okay, so what do we say over here, that we have selected some perspective, and from that perspective we have decided upon some alternatives. So we have five alternatives. So we are comparing the alternatives in view of the outcomes which we may obtain from this alternative, and the in cost which is occurred or resources which are consumed for that particular alternative, and we will select the best alternative which will give us maximum output or maximum outcome at minimum cost. Okay, so the aim of this approach is to identify, measure, value and establish a link between both resource consumption and outcomes, so that relative worth of selected pharmaceutical products, programs and or services can be established. So what is the aim? Is to identify, measure, value and establish link between outcome and the consumption of resources. Okay, so next is there are four e's of any health program evaluation. So the first e is the efficacy. So efficacy means what? Whether it can work, does it do more good than harm under ideal condition, that is there should be the benefit should be more than the risk associated with the treatment, okay, or the pharmaceutical product, service or program. Then the effectiveness of health program, that is does it work, then what can be achieved under realistic condition. So whether it is effective in whatever it claims to serve as, that is the purpose of it. Okay, the next is equity. Equity means equity or equality. So it means that is it reaching those who need it. That means we have the health program design, we have selected the best alternative, but if it is not reaching to the individuals to whom it needs to reach, then there is no use of designing such a health program. So we have to find out whether the beneficiaries are actually getting benefited from this program or not. So that is the equity. So also we have to see, that is who gains and who loses when it is being distributed among the population. The next is efficiency of the health program, that is whether it is worth doing or not. Okay, so we will decide upon everything, and we find out that only fewer people are getting affected or getting benefit from this particular health program. Then in such condition we have like 1 billion people in our country, and out of 1 billion people only some thousands are getting benefited from the health program. Then is it worth of doing it? It is not, because only thousands are getting benefited. But when we talk about corona vaccination, millions or all the billions of it, they will get vaccinated. So it is effective, or it is worth carrying out corona vaccination program. And also if you see the polio vaccination program, it is a continuous process that is going on for years, like 20-25 years it is going on. Why it is going on? Because every now and then, every day we have tens of thousands of new childs are getting born. So we have a large amount of population that needs to be vaccinated. Okay, so that's why polio vaccination goes on every now and then. Every year we have the polio vaccination drive. Okay, so it is actually efficient to carry out such a polio vaccination drive, because there are many children who are in need of such vaccine. Then let's see the some history of the pharmacoeconomics. So economic evaluations in the field of pharmacology, it started about 30 years ago. So the pharmacoeconomics developed its root in around 1970s. So the first book on health economics was published in 1973, and also one book in 1978. In 1978, McGann, Roland and Bootman from the University of Minnesota introduced the concepts of cost benefit and cost effectiveness analysis. Okay, so the term pharmacoeconomics was first used on a public forum for the first time in 1986 by Townsend. So till that time, the people talked about the economics of the pharmaceutical care, but nobody used these terminologies before. Even though the books were published in 1973, but in 1978, but they did only talk about the economics of the pharmaceutical care. They didn't actually coin the term that is pharmacoeconomics. So the term was first used by the Townsend in 1986 by the uh, in public forum. So the components of the pharmacoeconomics are: the first component is the health policy research, second component is the health economics, third component is burden of illness, fourth component is health economic research, fifth component is disease models, sixth component is health technology assessment, and seventh component is the health economics delivery research. So the pharmacoeconomics, it deals with all these components. That is whatever, what is the health policy of any government, that research is carried out under the pharmacoeconomics. Then the health economics related things, they are considered in the pharmacoeconomics. Okay, that is uh, cost and outcomes of any pharmaceutical product, services or programs. Then burden of illness. Burden of illness means what? How much or how many people they are actually affected by a certain type of illness. Like the number of diabetic patients in India. So that will be the burden of illness. Because if the number of patients increase in the in one area or in entire country, then the amount of drugs that are consumed by such patient also increases. And as amount of drugs consumed by such patient increases, it also increases the burden on the health care system. So that's what we are experiencing now, that as the number of patients, corona patients are increasing. If you follow the share market, the share market is falling because the economic resources which we have, which are limited economic resources, we have to put them for the in the healthcare system instead of the development projects that goes on in country. Okay, so we have to divert the funds to the healthcare system instead of the development of the country. Okay, so many things are involved. It is very complex thing that how this is actually correlated in between these two. It is very complicated thing, but the burden of illness, it increases the or affects the economy of nation. Then next component is the health economic research. Okay, so the health economics, which we have just considered, that is cost and benefits of the pharmaceutical products, services and program. So research of it in detail, what are the resources being consumed and what are the outcomes from it, it needs to be ascertained. Then we have to concern with the disease models, various disease models. Okay, the next component to which we have said, that is health and technology assessment. So every now and then newer health technology is coming in, like we earlier on we only had the x-rays, but now we have ct scan, pet scan, then echo, then what to say, mri and on. Okay, so when we have certain these advanced technologies, the cost which is associated with the use of these technologies is also high. If you consider, if you can get x-ray for like 30 rupees in medical, in civil hospitals, but if you want to get a ct scan, it will cost around 2000 to 2500 in civil hospitals. So you can see the vast difference among this. In corona patients also, from the x-ray, it can be ascertained that whether the patient has the corona or not. Okay, but doctors, they usually prescribe for the ct scan just to confirm the diagnosis. Okay, so we have to assess the technology which we are using, and that comes under the pharmacoeconomics. The next is the health economics delivery research. Okay, so we have done the research on the health economics, then we how we are delivering or whatever alternative which we have chosen, we have to utilize this alternative in the population. And whenever we are utilizing this alternative into the population, what exactly impact does it have on the population, what are the cost and benefits which are associated with the alternatives, that we have to see, and that comes under the health economics delivery research, and that is the component of the pharmacoeconomics. Okay, so let's stop over here only. Next point we will consider in next lecture. Thank you.